Hey everyone, welcome back to Stay Positive. We got another remote interview for you guys today because we're still respecting the quarantine and social distancing rules, which is very exciting. I gotta admit, this is week 3 of my quarantine and it's gotten real. Not to say that the first 2 weeks weren't, but I don't know, the past few days for me have been super weird and hard and, just getting into my head a lot and feeling very cooped up, even though I could technically go outside and my living situation is, nothing to be complaining about. I got my little podcast studio. I can record podcasts into infinity, but, I think it just kind of went to my head. And first 2 weeks were like fun. We're doing memes. We're like laughing and we're making jokes and cracking good times. But now I'm just like, wow, this is getting old. Not to mention the looming fact that it's just scary news every day. So I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of an escape, but I want to be real with you that I have had not the best few days. It's been a lot of me breaking down for no reason. The other day I washed a blanket and it turned into a bit of a me breaking down in tears because I called the blanket ugly and it doesn't make sense now that I'm recapping this, but it's definitely shows that I have cracked under the pressure and it's still early, so we're going to be fine. I still enjoy putting out this podcast. It's very exciting. So I'm just excited that I get to talk to people out there and you guys hopefully are finding it helpful in some way. This week we have a cool guest. She's hilarious, a comedian friend of mine comedian and friend, you could be both, okay? She has a great online presence. If you guys, obviously we as comedians and stand-up comedians are used to performing live, so it's been a little bit of a change, but you can find her on social media at Veronica K all day, spelled just as you think. Oh, I made the little sign. Woo! On Instagram and the twits. Yeah, and we have a fun time just shooting the shit, chatting about quarantine life. For any of you out there who are living alone, she has great advice about living alone during the quarantine, keeping it sane and real. So this guest is Veronica Kwiatkowski. Before we get into the interview, I just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, Personal Revolution, which is a podcast course that I think is kind of perfect for the moment that we're in right now. Personally, I'm feeling pretty stuck, in life and also inside, physically stuck indoors because we're on lockdown. And, there are things too that I kind of have been wanting to get to, but I've been putting it off because, life gets in the way, right? And here we are in this quarantine. I've been really wanting to draw, for instance, and I talk about that a lot in the interview today. And it's been hard because, sometimes if you don't get that thing done, I think I am more guilty now. I feel more guilty because I'm like, well, look, I'm home all the time. What excuses do I have to not get that thing done that I wanted to do? So I think that's where this podcast comes in. In Personal Revolution, best-selling author and life coach Allison Task basically helps you take control of your life using inspiration and humor, which we know is very important, so that you move from where you are now to where you want to be, and also have a little fun doing it. Can't complain there. It's kind of like having a personal coach whispering in your ear, which we could all use because we are isolated and lonely. And this is a 3-month podcast course, which is kind of perfect for the quarantine because we're going to be in this maybe for at least 3 months or more. It's got also bonus episodes each month, which will help you create a clear vision for what you want out of life, remove the frustrating blocks that are holding you back, develop a detailed action plan that will drive you to where you want to be, and build the network that will help you create your future. The Personal Revolution podcast comes with a personal workbook and real-time access to a community of other changemakers, working toward their goals with positivity, ever heard of it? Possibility, and momentum. And for a limited time, all of this is available to you for free. Okay, all right. So download the Himalaya app in your app store. Easy. Look up Personal Revolution and enter promo code REVOLUTION in all caps. That's REVOLUTION at checkout to get your first month absolutely free. So nothing's stopping you guys. No excuses. If you're ready to go after a better life, which I hope you are ready for Personal Revolution. So thanks, guys. Definitely check out Personal Revolution. I think basically has a lot of the things I'm looking for right now, with this quarantine. All right, let's get into this interview. Yeah. Hello, Veronica.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming on,
Thanks for
in the
having
time
me.
of pandemic. I'm glad that you're available and you're
I was
ready
super busy
for
actually,
this.
so
Okay.
it was hard to
You
clear my
penciled me
schedule. Yeah. I have a lot going on
thank
right
you.
now.
But yeah, how is life right now? I guess that's,
I mean, it's
the
like
question on everyone's tongues.
it's good. How are you doing?
I mean, we're making do. I don't know. I feel like I can't complain because it's, at least I don't have to go out and do real shit. Like I'm just a non-essential human.
Yeah. No, I feel the same way. I feel like it's scary and like what is going on, but at the same time I feel like really grateful that I still have a job and food and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like, this could be a lot worse.
Sure.
But it's certainly weird and kind of I never thought I'd live through this kind of thing. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? It really is like the thing where you're like, well, I watched a lot of apocalypse movies, so none of them were exactly like this, though I've never seen Contagion.
Don't see it.
Okay.
Just wait. Maybe just wait a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a little fresh right now.
Yeah, it's too soon.
Yeah, too soon, too accurate. I hear it's very accurate. Anyway, but you obviously work for Earwolf, Stitcher, Midroll, all these names. I mean, that's your day job, and you're also a comedian, which is also how we know each other through friends, comedy, life. But what's it been like? Okay, I guess just like covering the day job part.
Yeah.
What's it been like working from home?
So I am actually a big work from home fanatic. Like I usually do work from home, but then I will go out at night. So it's been a little bit weird to just only be home.
Sure. Yeah.
But thankfully I felt a little bit prepared. Like I'm good at, keeping like a work area that's not in rest, you know what I mean?
Smart.
Like to kind of keep that separate. I think that's important. So I felt good because I felt kind of armed for that, but definitely like, it's just funny because I've never worked from home while like everyone else that I work with is also from home. So that's kind of,
right.
It's funny, but
that's good. Yeah. So you're prepared. Do you have any, as a veteran, obviously separating, no bed desks, apparently.
Don't work in your room if you can. Yeah, if you can like even just go to a different part of the apartment or wherever.
Right.
That's nice.
Because it kind of like, does it just make it seem like you're not at work, or like, is it just kind of...
And I feel like you're bringing like work into like relaxing space. So even if you can just go to a different corner, just kind of like have that separation.
Another side of the bed.
Exactly. A different end of the mattress.
The base of your bed.
Yeah, perfect.
That's smart.
And take a lot of walks.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, are you able to still walk around your neighborhood and stuff and like just avoid people?
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like I've seen more people out walking than ever before.
Sure.
But there's no cars in the street, so I've just been like, it's easy to just walk in the middle of the road.
Walk in the middle of the street to avoid everyone.
Exactly. Yeah, so going on walks
smart.
is great. And then, how about you? Have you like been going out?
Do I ever go out? That's the main question. Has my life changed at all? I mean, I feel like I went on a couple like hike type things. Mm-hmm. So I went to a sort of a trail. This was maybe last week. I went to a trail near where I used to live. And that was really crowded. And that I'm never doing that again because that was like really stressful because the trail was kind of narrow. And so you couldn't really like, if somebody was passing you, you kind of have to like get up on the plants in order to kind of like get away from them. And then it was early on enough where I was like, well, do I want to be super rude to everyone I pass?
Right.
Probably not that drastically, even though maybe we should. Anyway, so now that we're like further along, I'm like, okay, I guess if I'm gonna go out, there is kind of a trail near me that's a little wider, which is good. And then there's also, walking on the sidewalk, which I think because they're starting to shut down a lot of trails and whatever parks, you're kind of supposed to just like stick to the concrete and like walk in the middle of the street, I guess, and, flag down oncoming traffic in case, somebody's still driving. But yeah, I mean, that's good. I just like, I'm not great about leaving the house anyway, I feel.
Oh, I feel you.
But like now there's no like guilt about it. You know what I mean? Now I'm like, I had to, so I'm a good citizen.
You're doing your part.
I am. Yeah. But so I don't know. Have you been able to like, how are you doing groceries? Because that's like a big hot topic these days.
Yeah. Well, oh my God. I almost cried tears of joy because I finally got toilet paper the other day because I was just out. Like I didn't hoard and then I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be like, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Sure. It's crazy how that went.
It's so stressful. And I went to so many stores, and then I went to Smart and Final randomly, which I don't know. I just never like, it never
Oh, cool.
is on my radar. And I went,
Yeah.
and I felt like a crazy person. I was like, where's the toilet paper? And the guy was like, over there. And there was only 3 like packs of it left, and I just grabbed it, and I was like sobbing. I was like, I finally have toilet paper. And it's the good kind too. It's Charmin. I was like, I don't even usually get this.
Damn.
Usually.
Yeah, treat yourself, you know?
Yeah, so I got that.
This is the time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've been going to Trader Joe's, and honestly, it's been lovely. Like, they are super organized. There's like markers outside, like every 6 feet. So it's like you're in line in a way that feels safe. And then you go in, and there's like no photos allowed, nothing. Super, like, I'm like, I kind of like when they limit the amount of people allowed in the store. It's very relaxing.
Yeah. It's like
and everyone's been
different.
super nice. They give you a flower when you leave. They put a little flower in your bag.
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know.
That's so sweet.
It's not. Have you been to Trader Joe's lately?
No, that was the last place I went before this all went to shit.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, and they've been super nice, and just, I think, everyone is scared, but I have to say they've been like really friendly and just kind of like have plenty of stuff too. I think they're limiting how much you can buy. I think you can only get up to 2 of everything.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but they've had like plenty of frozen food, which is good, and it's been nice to like still have somewhere to go to get like fresh produce.
Sure. Yeah.
And just the basics. But part of me is like, is it like I'm trying to go as little as possible, because I do have lots of beans and stuff I can eat here.
Yeah. Get into the beans, the bean diet. Beans are the new quinoa. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think I feel like, so I've been able to do delivery. So we're like refreshing the website, like, looking for those windows.
Yeah.
So
like
that's
Instacart?
another thing, because so Instacart is a possibility. I haven't done that yet. But I've been able, like, I think all the respective, big grocery stores have been able to like flesh out their own delivery methods. So I was doing
cool.
Vaughn's, and then I like fill my cart up, and then I like wait for a window, and I'm like refreshing the page, and then you see one, you click in, and then you go, So it doesn't always show up, but it's like you kind of have to, keep checking back and stuff. And the delivery, like, I put this in yesterday, which was a Thursday, and then I think it's not ready. It's not going to come till Tuesday. So it's like you kind of have to plan ahead.
Right.
But we're okay for now. But yeah, it's sort of like, it's
That's
so
a good
ridiculous.
idea.
Definitely do that so that you don't have to, I mean, it sucks because somebody has to go out, just like tip them very well. But like, I think it's just like, then you can reduce your time. Like maybe you can go out every other time instead or whatever.
That's smart. Yeah. I've also been like ordering in a lot from like restaurants that I wouldn't ever usually, like I got John and Vinny's the other night. I don't eat there. Like,
Ooh,
I'm a broke bitch.
What is that?
It's like that really nice pasta. It's like Italian food. They have like pizza and pasta.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
nice.
Time to live.
Oh, I know. I mean, there was like something fun. Just the fact that like takeout is now like a heroic act because you're like helping small businesses. So like, exactly. I love the excuse. I'm like, oh, I guess I have to get like random delivery from this really nice restaurant. Yeah.
This bar by me is doing like takeout cocktails. So they like give you the everything and it's just like shake it up with ice. And honey, I will be doing that tonight. Like,
oh my God, you have to. That's incredible.
That
I mean, I just feel bad. It's like, how are they going to survive? I don't know. Hopefully they'll get, some of this stimulus shit.
My hope too is that, and I think I feel this way about comedy and also just like any sort of, just anything that isn't staying in your home. I really hope that like once this is all done, everyone will be so ready to just like go out and.
Right. It'll make up for lost time.
Yeah. I mean, with what money, we'll see. But I do hope that people are really kind of having, I mean, personally, like I can't wait to just like be in the world. And I'm not usually like that. I'm like, love being at home. But now I'm like, I just want to go out and hug everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, I exactly. It's sort of like, oh God, human contact. Like, I need my human time. This is like my human time.
Yeah. It's so weird.
But yeah. Okay. So comedy, like, obviously, our dreams have been crushed. Because we're both stand-up comics. So yeah, what's it kind of been like for you, or how are you processing all this stuff?
It's so weird. It's funny because I had such an exciting month of shows, and then I was like, okay, well. I think it just goes to show you that you kind of just have to be with everything in life, like able to roll with the punches. It's like,
sure.
So like I just said, I hope and think that people will want to see comedy after this is all said and done. So yeah, I think like, even though it's been weird to not like go out and see comedy every night and like perform, I feel like people are still being really funny. Like I've just noticed like people being really funny on social media, which has been great because it's like I need to just like check out for a little bit and like, take in some content. So I feel like people have been stepping up in other ways. And I think it's been kind of nice because I feel like it's made me like creative and funny in other areas that I maybe would usually like not pay attention to as much.
Totally. Yeah. That's
So
awesome.
it's kind of cool because it's like we're all going through this. And I feel like, because in the past I've taken like not long breaks, but like I'll take a week off or like do something, and I feel kind of guilty. I'm like, I'm being a piece of shit. But now I'm like, well, we're all forced to do this. So
Right. There's literally no FOMO and like,
yeah,
feeling like, because we're all kind of in the same boat. I feel the same way for sure about like the like lack of guilt, whether it's not leaving my house for long periods of time, or like, not, going and hitting a bunch of mics or shows and stuff, which normally you're like, if you're not doing that, you just only can picture everyone's doing it, just in the same way, grass is always greener kind of stuff.
Totally.
So yeah, that's fair. And like social media stuff. Do you like, I mean, obviously I feel like you and a lot of comedians, Twitter is like a great outlet for sure, but like now, I'm seeing a lot more tweets, and I feel like it's like brought me back to Twitter, which was like I thought would never happen because I kind of am like, I mean, it's so fun at the end of the day, but I think what I like about it now is it's like at least we all have something to joke about that's sort of on the same page versus like on a normal day before Corona, it was sort of like, okay, some people are talking about politics and then some people are talking about sports, and like it was just like more splintered. And so I guess it's one silver lining is people are unified on what they're joking about.
Well, it's funny because I was thinking like all my jokes have been like my tweets have just been related to what's going on, but I was like, maybe I should try to like tweet something else. And then I was like, what am I going to even talk about? Like dating, am I right? It's like it just feels so silly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's still not right. It's still within the world of Corona, so you're still like, no. I mean, I think what's fun is it's like you kind of have like people talking about the serious shit, but then also there's so much funny shit that comes out of just people being quarantined and going insane, and like celebrities being insane.
It's insane. Even last night I was going a little bit wild and I was like, okay, time to pull back. But it's like, it's just so funny seeing, it's like this, you don't realize what some of your friends or people that like celebrities you don't know, it's like you don't realize what people are kind of capable of, and it's just watching them like everyone just kind of like having a mental breakdown, but in a fun way.
I know. It's great. I mean, I don't know why it is. It's just because it's like you kind of are finally like, okay, everyone's like human.
Yeah, totally.
And this is not healthy.
We're all like, this is fucked up. And it's so interesting to be like, this is a global experience. Like everyone, it doesn't matter what your background is, where you are right now. I mean, some places are obviously much worse than others, but it's like everyone is going through this, and that's so wild to
that's exactly true. Like it's so strange because then you kind of feel like, well, I feel like so much of what because we're American, it's sort of like we maybe more than other countries are like way, obviously more self-centered, so everything seems like we, I don't know, I just feel like I take one peek outside of like what's happening in America on before Corona, and it felt like, oh god, I just like totally don't know what anyone's talking about, and like I feel so stupid. But now it's like, okay, now we kind of at least know that everyone's on the same page,
totally, even
though as you said, different degrees of that. But you're so right, that's true. Okay.
And do you feel like people are being nicer?
I mean, like, I don't know. I guess it's hard to see people, but I mean, totally, like, online and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think so. Or people are, like, more open to, sort of this collective helping thing. And you hear and read stories about people, like, helping their elderly neighbors get groceries or, that sort of thing, which I think they always say in natural disasters or disasters in war, too. People tend to band together a little bit more. Yeah. More community. But I guess the one thing is that like it does sometimes I know there's just like a lot more like racism and shit too. So then I'm also reading like the Asian shit, and it's like so then that doesn't feel great. And then when like political shit, it's like so then I don't know, maybe it's more the everyday person is hopefully being a little nicer. Yeah,
like I feel like on the street like people are just more like friendly and kind of at the grocery store.
Like smiling from 6 feet away.
Exactly.
Like nodding.
Yeah, but I mean, I hope that after this, people are just generally more, I just hope there's like a greater sense of community and kind of like, hey, we all went through this fucking what thing together. Right. What is totally. This? And I do hope that we all kind of come out of this with a little bit more compassion for our other people in our lives.
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. I know. Especially, it's just so strange. And I think it's like weird because it sometimes does feel like everything in our, like, I don't know, the way that this is all led up to this, it's like we had like a booming economy and like so much excess, and like I don't know. I was a little worried because of all the unemployment stuff that's cropping up, and
Yeah.
like, and the fact that like, we were kind of like, okay, we're doing great, everyone's doing great, and then now it's like, oh, is this what is in the history books going to be like? Yeah, so right before this was like the golden age, and then came Corona, and then everything balances out. So I don't know. That's one thing I'm a little worried about.
It's very
Not to bring this down, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's scary at any point to not know what, you never know what's going to happen in the future, but it's like scary when a whole other wrench is thrown in and you're like, oh, cool, I was not ready for that.
Oh, right, a virus.
Yeah.
That one.
That thing.
Yeah, totally didn't see that coming at all. But yeah, it's good. So okay, so also I kind of am thinking about people living alone and like the fact that like, at least you have a good community, I should hope, but also you're not fully like, it's not like you got kids running around.
I am deeply alone. Thank you. Yeah.
Good. But it's like, what is that experience like? What are you doing to like, keep things regular and normal and not lonely?
It's so funny that you asked that, because yesterday I was talking to our good friend Audrey, and she was like, man, yeah, I feel so bad for all those losers that like live alone and have no friends there, no roommates. And I was just like, She's like,
you're
oh, wait.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, like,
who are those people?
Well, thankfully, like I've lived alone for a while, so I do like living alone, but I have my hamster, so she's been fun to play with.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, remind me your hamster's name again?
Gertrude.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Gertrude. I was gonna say Beatrice because it's kind of the same
one
genre,
of the
but
options.
Gertrude's better. Okay, good.
Yeah. So
Dirty
she's been good. I've been like FaceTiming a lot of people and like going on walks and FaceTiming other people on walks, which is actually nice because I feel like that
at the same time.
And then you're forced to go outside. Yeah, so that's been cool. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just trying to check in with people that like maybe I haven't talked to in a while, or just kind of like trying to be more thoughtful in the communication with them. Like I was talking to our friend Matt yesterday, and we've been doing like it's really cute. We've been doing like kind of like get to know you question. Like you're friends with someone and then you like don't know like basic things about them just because become friends, and then you're like, what? So we've been asking each other little things, like we were like, what's your favorite high school memory? Like what's your favorite type of dog breed?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's been fun to have that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you like getting these I don't know why this question came up. Are you getting these questions from like a pre-written situation, or like you're just like, here's something I don't know about you?
He just started it, and then it was like really nice, and we've just been like kind of shooting the shit, and so I've just been trying to like reach out more to people and talk to my family, and
cool.
It's definitely like I think it's like you were saying, a grass is always greener. Like if I had roommates, I could see that also being a thing where you kind of would go a little stir crazy being stuck with the same people for a long time. So
totally.
I've just got my little Ham, and she is pretty low maintenance.
Ham.
So it's been fine. I mean, I definitely like, I'll be all right. My neighbor, I'm friends with my neighbor downstairs. Oh my God, the other night he dropped off a piece of pie on my doorstep, and then we like ate it over FaceTime with each other, which was so funny because he's like
That's
literally.
so nice. Oh wow, did he bake pie?
I guess his friend did and brought it over, and then he like knocked on my door, and I like opened it, and there was a little plate of pie, and I was like, oh my God.
Community pie.
Community pie. And then we just drank a bunch of wine over FaceTime and like talked for a couple hours. So that was fun.
That's great. Yeah, definitely getting into the wine thing. I mean, I heard too that like flour and yeast is sold out because people are really getting into baking.
Oh, yeah. I've had some friends that are like, this is my time to learn. I'm like, all right, not mine, but
yeah.
You go.
Like, please send over a slice when you're done.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, I think what's really fun too is like the fact that, our friend Matt, or people who are out of town, like they're just actually like now they're just as close as like your friend down the street.
Totally.
Because nobody can see each other.
Right.
So I reconnected with, I had been in contact with them, but I think like hadn't FaceTimed with a lot of people that are like in different cities or have been living pretty far. So it's kind of like, oh yeah, I guess now's the time, and like nobody's got anything better to do. So
yeah, I mean, we had our nice little group FaceTime the other night when I was very stoned, but
no, it was great. Yeah. A little context. I guess we had our little FaceTime set up, and we're like with a friend. Well, most of us live in LA, but one friend of ours is in Sam, who is on the podcast. He is in New York right now.
Will he ever be back here? That is the question.
If I were him, like, would I make that travel? Probably not.
We'll see.
I mean, and then it just seems like it worked out too. Group FaceTime.
Nice.
and the fact that like now people are watching shit at the same time, you know, like a Netflix party or whatever.
Have you done
I haven't
that
done it yet.
Okay.
Well, I heard it's just like a chat. Did we talk about this already? I don't know. I heard that maybe this was wrong information, but I heard that it's like the actual site that has that going is like a chat, so you kind of have to like use two apps at the same time or whatever. Okay. But that's fine. That's possible. But yeah. Have you been watching anything good that you know to binge?
I mean, obviously Tiger King.
Yes,
come on.
I'm into it as well.
So good. And then I actually just finished. I'm kind of like now I don't know what to start next because I just finished that show Feel Good on Netflix, which was amazing. It's about this like comic in she's living. I think they live in England, and then she like falls in love with this girl, and it's kind of like just about her life, but really funny and like. Only 6 episodes. I was like, can I get like 1,000 more? Thank you. So
nice. So yeah, it's like a small-ish.
Yeah.
Cool.
So now I'm in that weird like, what do I watch next? And I've never watched Buffy.
Oh wait, is that Mae Martin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I did see that. Okay, I haven't watched it yet. That's great.
I think you'd like it. It was good. But yeah, I'm like, what do I fill the void with now? You know?
I mean, look. Do you have Hulu?
Yeah.
I've been watching Little Fires Everywhere on
Hulu,
God,
which is the new
Reese
book.
Witherspoon. Okay. Oh yeah, you read the book? I literally just finished the book because I had put the book down for like a year, and I was like, "Oh, time to read."
Good. Yeah. Did you like the book? Oh my God, I loved that book.
Oh really? Oh my God, yeah, I did. I mean, I think like it was really good, and I like didn't know much about what it was, so I just kind of like picked it up anyway. But it took me a while to finish just because I'm terrible at reading. But yeah, who's good, you know? But yeah, I'd say the show does a really good job. I think of like they're building on it a lot too, because it is still a 10 episode series or something. Yeah. So there's a lot more to fill in. It's not the longest book. But yeah, I'd recommend. Okay. You know, it will probably be less exciting. Like I kind of feel like I know what's happens, so I'm not as intrigued by it if I were just like, ooh, what is this? But yeah, it's cool. And then there's also what else did I start watching? I don't know. I guess like a lot of documentary stuff and movies and getting back into like, I mean, I love to watch a rom-com.
Oh yeah.
Here and again, you know.
Are you a fan of 90 Day Fiance?
Oh, okay. You totally talked to me about this before and I never took it up because I was just so terrified of getting stuck.
Now's the time. I'm like caught up and I'm like, why did I watch all that so quickly? Like, what do I do now?
Right. Well, I did hear that, like, would it be much more difficult now with Corona for them or anyone to fall in love so fast?
That's a good point.
I don't even really know it's just, what is the premise again? It's like...
Well, I mean, which spinoff are we talking about? So original 90 Day Fiance is like, so it's like someone that's an American and they've fallen in love with a foreigner and they're engaged and basically they have 90 days, or wait, I'm totally fucking this up. My brain isn't working. Basically, they have 90 days to either like get engaged and get married, or that person has to leave the country because like that's how long the K-1 visa lasts for. But then there's also before the 90 days, which is like they've been dating online, but they haven't met yet. So it's like they're going to meet and then maybe get engaged and then start the visa process. So I actually like that one more.
Interesting.
But it's so good.
And that's like a second iteration, you feel, or like which one was? Oh, that's the like.
I think that was like the spinoff
kind of they built off of.
Yeah, okay, but it's so good, and they do such a good job of like getting couples that like are like actually just like, you know, I think probably a good match and just happens to live in other areas. And then there will be somewhere it's like, oh honey, you are getting a little used. It's sad, but it's like, it's just an interesting, I don't know, it's the people on it are so fascinating, and it's kind of it's cool too because you get to like see these other cultures and kind of like how people live, and it's cool.
Yeah,
it's great.
Oh, I could definitely get behind that. Yeah, I think I didn't realize like the fact that it was kind of like arranged by the producers or whatever, that it was like, oh, we're matching you up. I think I just thought it was like they found couples who were in this position already.
They are, yeah.
So then I didn't get. Oh, okay, I see.
It's like one couple like met like on vacation, or like some have like met online.
They are. Oh, okay, I see.
It's so good.
All right, so it was what I thought. But okay, yeah, that just seems like such a I don't know. I guess I've just like never, obviously I've never experienced this, but like, you know, I think that like to me, I'm like, oh wow, I wouldn't even consider that possibility. And I didn't even know you could make multiple, you know, episodes about it. Like I thought maybe it would be like one here and there, but if it's like many people in this position,
it's hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a lot of time. It's
I've got hours. Yeah. I've been considering getting like a projector or something because Just because I'm like, listen, you know, if I'm going to be watching this much television, it needs to be on the ceiling of my bedroom.
I agree. You should not have to. Should not have to exert
Should not
any
have to sit up.
muscles. No,
I
it should be
know.
a horizontal experience.
Right. I have to get my rest, and my immune system is strong, and you know, figuring all that out. Oh God. Anyway, but yeah. So maybe that'll be on the on the.
I've also been like
me.
really into like rearranging my apartment. Like I
Ooh.
think I'm gonna like move some furniture around. I just did this painting, and so I'm gonna like move some art around and
oh yes.
kinda
Oh yeah. Tell me
fun
about
stuff.
your art, because I feel like you know you have one behind you for those watching on YouTube.
Oh yeah, this is like who cares?
It's very cool though.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
fun.
and also the composition of how you set up your apartment is very artistic. And
Thank you.
yeah. So like, I don't know I don't even think I know much about like your background in art, but I know you make art, which is awesome.
Yeah,
And it looks great.
I just finished this like watermelon. I'll post a photo probably tomorrow of it, but that was fun. It took me a lot longer than I thought it would actually, and I was like, ooh, what a good time killer. But yeah, I just like always liked to like draw and paint, and I like would go to art camp when I was younger, which says a lot about me now.
What is art camp?
Art camp is where
Is it
the
sleepaway?
coolest kids go. No. It's you have to be really fucking cool so to even get in.
Sure,
so
sure.
really rigorous
Yeah, I mean-
application process of
Yeah. I was rejected several times.
well, you gotta be tip top. But yeah, it was like a day thing. I'm from San Diego, so it was like at this art museum in Balboa Park, which was the tits.
Oh, wow.
And you would just be in the basement all day for like weeks doing art. It was fucking awesome. It was
cool.
like everyone was really introverted. No one really talked. It was like I was like, oh, I love this so much. It was my people. You know what I mean? Like
Nice.
my
Would
type
you
of camp.
like be taught different
Yeah.
media or like
Yeah. We do like different media, different like I could forget like I remember one summer it was like a self-portrait project which my parents still have in the garage. Is it my best work? No, it's not. I'll be honest. We're looking back, not great, but
I mean,
it has
you gotta,
eyes.
You gotta have a couple
exactly
tries.
It's a person. It's not me. It's just a person, a face with brown hair. But yeah, that was super fun. And then yeah, I just feel I really like to. I think it's a mixture of me wanting to be creative, but me also being really cheap. I, for some reason, always find canvases on the street. Like the one that I just did was like this huge canvas, and it was just on my street, and it was honestly hideous. Like I don't know, it was like someone had done this like weird painting of like a cockroach. It was bad. Like I know that art is subjective, but this was bad. This was just ugly.
Right. You're
I was
like,
what is
this
this
doesn't make that.
Yeah, but I
okay.
love to just grab shit off the street and bring it in, you know, cover it up and start over. So, yeah, that's
Sweet.
always
You're it's like found objects art.
It's so fun. And like just finding like old furniture
creative.
and stuff too that you can like repaint and oh my God, I love it.
That's awesome.
And it's free. So it's like, you know, hey.
Yeah. I mean, like art's expensive online. Like if you're trying to decorate your apartment, like forget it.
Oh, no.
But that's awesome. Like I think for like the office I'm working in now, may it rest in peace since we don't go to it anymore. We had gotten some like, you know, like whatever, secondhand art canvas things, and somebody painted like within it, like kind of like added to it or whatever, little cartoony things, and that was really cool. But yeah, I just had never thought of like, oh yeah, I guess there's probably a ton of canvases out there, and like if you have the talent to make it good, then like you might as well.
Yeah, also Goodwill. I always go to Goodwill because they'll have that art, and it's like it's so funny. Like this one thing I have, I think it was, you know, some kids like art class project, because on the back it's like art class, you know, 2000 whatever.
Yeah, you're like loser.
Yeah, it's like okay. But, you know, you can get the
Painting
canvas for like $5 and then just get some white paint and start over. So if you want anything, I'm running out of wall space. So
oh shit.
Let me know.
Yeah, commission. Yeah, totally. If you'd be interested. Yeah, I mean like that's like a really cool project to do, and like the fact that it's still like useful too, in the sense that you can decorate with it, is like very rewarding.
Totally. And I think even like I kind of want to paint one of my walls. And then I don't know.
Can you do that? Is that like what are the rules about apartments? It's just like case by case, right?
So I think it's definitely not allowed, but I also feel like you can just paint over it with white before you move.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely not allowed to have a
you'd
hamster.
be improving it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that would be awesome. I feel like they're always painting walls in movies. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, she's a creative, so she paints one wall. You know,
And she's
it is
wearing
very
overalls.
character building.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you have those, so
Duh.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. But yeah, so just trying to like, I think, especially like now that we're all stuck at home, just kind of what can you do to like make the space?
Yeah, home projects.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you? Oh yeah, art camp. Did you have any romances?
Not an art camp. I don't think.
Ooh, what
Yeah.
other? What other?
Sure.
That you said like you had romances in other camps, maybe?
No, I don't think I ever had a camp romance. I'm trying to like.
I don't. I mean, I also I feel like that's probably more of a sleepaway camp thing or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. I never went to a sleepaway camp and maybe did like basketball camp. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it was never.
You did basketball
like,
camp?
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay,
yes. I
Sierra.
did so much basketball. Oh jeez. Oh, those were the days. No, honestly, didn't like it. Didn't love it.
Yeah.
It was sort of one of those things where, you know, it was good to build friendships, and I have a lot of lifelong friends through basketball, but, you know, and good, whatever, pushing yourself physically. But, you know, I don't have the build for basketball, so I didn't really have much of a future in it. So I think it felt kind of like, you know, fighting an uphill battle. But basketball camps too were very rigorous and sometimes a little unpleasant if you didn't have friends. So sometimes I'd be introduced to this new camp and it's like, oh great, how, you know, it's kind of like that social anxiety, but
Oh my God, yeah.
you know, plus dribbling. It's a lot. But yeah, so I always kind of fantasized about like the concept of like camp, because I feel as if people, you know, in movies they go, oh, Parent Trap, she
Right?
meets her twin at camp or whatever, right?
Yeah, I never went to a sleepaway camp either, but
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that is like more of a movie thing than like a real person thing.
well, I'm pretty sure my long lost twin is out there. I mean, definitely.
Sure.
She's at camp somewhere.
I mean, yeah, there's no need to meet her.
Yeah.
I think it would be
that British
really
bitch.
stressful.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but art camp sounds very,
Yeah.
it sounds very like a good thing to go to when you're being productive and learning
Yeah.
skills and, you know, keeping you busy during the summer. That's the
Totally.
thing that's crazy right now is parents who are homeschooling and working.
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
Added on to like the fact that, yeah, everything's crazy and they can't send their kid away to like basketball camp or
Yeah,
art
and like you
camp.
couldn't even could you even get a nanny, or would that be like stupid to invite another person, you know?
Good question.
to
I
the
mean, I
home?
guess people probably still are if they really can't handle it, or
Yeah.
if they like, if they're, I mean, because also that could be somebody, if they like already had one, say,
Right.
then that's somebody's job. So what are they going to let them go right at this
Right.
time? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm very thankful to not have children right now.
Right. Yeah. It's, you know, glad we made that active
And this must be
decision.
like, I can't imagine how you explain this kind of thing to a kid, you know? But
Sure.
I can't imagine that. It seems like
Right.
it'd be hard to kind of
Yeah, it's
stress
already
the
hard
severity
enough.
but not freak them out. I'm going to stick with the hamster. She doesn't know what's going on. And
Yeah. So, so the hamster, like, how did you decide on a hamster?
okay, it's such a weird story. Like,
Perfect.
so I went on like 3 dates with this girl, like not even a thing. And she was like, I have a hamster. And I was like, that's weird. Like, that's, who does that? But then I met the hamster and I was like, oh, this is like really great. I was like, I think I really like this hamster.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, could you like tell me more about this lifestyle that you're living and like what's going on here? And she was like, yeah, she was like telling me how much she loves having hamsters. And I was like, okay. And she was like, well, she was like, actually, the one that she had, she was like, his sister, I think, is still like, hasn't been adopted yet. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, do you want me to connect you with the lady? I was like, God, I do. And so I like
my God.
got connected with this woman on Instagram. And then she was like, we were like DMing each other. She was like, okay, Venmo me the deposit. I was like, all right. And then I literally drove out to Canoga Park on like a random Sunday. It was raining.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty far.
Oh, it was a thing. And so I drive out there with my little shoebox because she was like, you need to bring a box to transport it home. So I drive out, it's raining. I'm like, what am I doing like with my life? This is so weird. But I was kind of on the fence anyway about getting one. And then when I told my mom, she just like lit up. She was like, oh my God, I had a hamster when I was your age. I loved it. It was the best. I was like, okay.
Oh, how
sign.
cute.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it runs in the family. Got
Totally.
it.
I had no idea. So I was like, all right, sign, I got to do it. So I pick up this hamster. The woman literally meets me on the street corner outside of a nursing home with like this hamster in a box. And she's like, it was so sketchy. I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So she like gives me the hamster and like kind of walks me through like, you know, just like basic stuff. And so I grab the hamster. I'm like kind of leaving, like, you know, turning my body like very much. I am exiting this weird drug deal that we just did with a rodent that I'm not even allowed to have in my apartment, but whatever. And as I'm leaving, she was like, hey, just one thing. I was like, what? She was like, you should be really careful because, you know, the hamster people can get kind of weird. And she was like, I'm just saying, like, my ex-best friend also breeds hamsters, and she might try to like contact you. So just like be aware. And I was like, what did I just get involved in? So it was just like
What?
very silly. So I was like, I can't believe this is happening. But other than that one minor thing, I was like, everything was fine after that. So I took my hamster home,
Right.
and you know, she's mine now. And no one has contacted
Beautiful.
me. It's been fine. But
Well, yeah, so
Yeah.
they would contact you about what?
I don't know.
Trying
I
to
was
like
I think they had their own
connect?
beef, and I was like, I'm just gonna stay out of it.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. I
But she's
see.
doing
Whoa.
really well, and you
Great.
know, it's actually been really nice. It's funny because they're nocturnal, so it's like during the day she just kind of is asleep, and then at night when the loneliness really sets in, she wakes up, and then we play together.
Oh,
and
perfect.
hang out,
Yeah,
so.
perfectly timed
Exactly.
hamster. Wow. Okay, so interesting. Yeah, who knew there was such a world? You know, I feel like
Oh.
every hobby and every animal kind of comes with its own,
Yeah.
Tiger King clearly
Literally.
comes with its own. Yeah, you could be hamster queen.
Okay, let's go.
Just planting the seed. But yeah, just it all comes with its own subculture, and
Yeah.
it sounds like you're really you're a part of that now.
I feel like it. I mean,
matter-
I posted on the hamster subreddit the other day. I don't know. I can't speak. And I was like, I think I'm in it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you post?
She was like biting her cage, which it was like kind of concerning to me. And then I looked it up, and it said it's kind of normal, but also can be like a sign if they're stressed or something. So I posted, and I was like, oh, she's like cage biting a lot. I was like, does she just hate me? Like, what's going on? And someone else commented, and they recommended this, like, because I have these little like chew sticks for her, but I don't think they're doing the trick. So they recommended, they're actually like dog treats. So I think that'll help her with the chewing.
Cute.
So I think she just needed something to like gnaw
Oh,
on.
right.
So I'm in it now.
Teething, yeah.
Yeah.
Restless things. It's like one of those what are those things? Shit.
Like,
Now I'm too far
teething
gone.
rings?
Fiddle sticks.
Oh,
No,
you mean
what's it
like this?
called? Oh yes, I have one of those.
It's kind of fun.
What is it called?
Fidget cube, right?
Fidget cube. Yeah, because of the fidget spinner is the one I was
Oh,
trying to
yeah,
think
yeah,
of.
yeah.
But I do have a fidget cube, actually.
I kind of
I don't
like
have
it.
a fidget spinner.
I like this
think-
one. It's like this thing spin. Oh, this is a podcast. I forgot. But yeah, it's
No,
fun.
I mean it'll bring people to the YouTube. But yeah, it's I think mine was green and black, but I feel like it's the same maker because it looks like basically like a dice.
Yeah, it's fun. I have to say, I mean, I like it. I always want to do something with my hands. But that's another project I'm going to work on. I just bought a bunch of knitting stuff. I'm going to learn how to knit.
Oh my God, love it. I love to knit. I mean,
You know how to
honestly,
knit?
haven't in so long, but I was knitting a lot, like 2 years ago, maybe, because I was like unemployed and I was like, all right, time to knit. And it was really fun.
How did
I would
you
like
learn?
watch. Okay, so my grandma taught me when I was quite young,
cool.
which is hilarious because it's such a grandma thing to
Yeah.
do. And she's like big into knitting and crocheting and stuff. I don't really know how to crochet, but I think I learned, but I don't really remember. But yeah, knitting is so fun, and I'm really not great at it. Or I don't know. There's really crazy things you can do with
Yeah.
it that like I would never have the ability to do. But yeah, I'll just make like a square.
Oh, I'm going full scarf. Just one.
Yeah, scarf, a long square. You know.
A very long square. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and it's fun because you could get different yarns, and honestly, the yarn does the work for you. Like, if you get a cool looking yarn, like it makes it look really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
that's a smart one. But yeah, definitely a great thing for your hands. And then also the funny thing is, I think I got so into it too, and I would get like calluses, like
Oh, wow.
like it would like not calluses, but I would just get like 'cause I
Yeah.
think I was working with like a very itchy kind of like woolish thing one time, and so I had like just raw fingers.
Whoa. You're in it.
Yeah, I don't recommend that. That's a little
Okay.
embarrassing, but it was fun. But yeah, that's a great hobby, I think. And again, making stuff that you can use, or you can like make stuff and like sew it together. So if it's instead of doing the whole knitty thing, because I'm like if I want to make like a wallet or a pouch or something, you just make a long square and you fold it and then you sew it, rather than being like, ooh, how do I like find this crazy ass thing to do it with just knitting needles? But anyway. Yeah,
I'm
so
excited.
excited for that in your future. It'll be fun.
Do you have any other like quarantine projects that you're working on? Any skills?
You know what's hilarious is I kind of feel like as much as I have time, I also have like, I'm like, where did the day go? And it's not
Yeah.
because I'm doing any work. It's just like I'm reading the news. I have to like watch all the news, and like I guess I'm doing a lot more cooking because it's
Yeah.
like we have to eat at home for the most part. And unless we get delivery or something, doing a lot of cooking, doing a lot of cleaning. We like ran out of dishwasher soap or whatever, like dishwasher pods. So then we're doing everything by hand because it's like in the mail, but it's taking forever because everything is backed up. And then I did buy an ironing board, so now I can like iron stuff, which I hadn't really had before. I was like ironing on the floor. I was ironing on this like synthetic rug that I had, and then it was like melting the rug. I realized later, I was like, oh, well, that's what I get for buying like a $15 rug. But anyway, and then, yeah, I don't know. So sometimes I'm like, I guess I should be making more stuff, but I kind of am like not actually.
Yeah.
I'm like so busy just being like, oh my God, what's happening?
I know.
That I don't know where the day has gone.
I've been trying to limit my news time to like just a couple hours because it's getting a little bit, I think it's easy to spiral out of control. But then it's like, I want to know what's going on.
Sure.
But,
no, that's a smart way. I mean, because you really, if you do 2 hours, that's still a lot. Or if you like check it twice, it's still like you're up to date. You know what I mean? You just have to see like what's happening. Did I have to learn anything new to change the way I live?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're good. But I don't know if we need to know up to date things about like this hospital ran out of ventilators. It's like, yeah, that sucks. And we knew it was going to happen. And like now I got to just keep, do my part by staying in and like, and there was a moment there where, I mean, and I still am trying to like talk to my parents a lot just to make sure they're okay. Cause like, old high risk parents and them being like going rogue sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
are your parents staying home?
They are, luckily. But yeah, there was a moment there where they were like, well, I don't know, maybe I should go pick up the groceries. I'm like, no, literally, I can do it.
Yeah.
You might as well just use me because, but they were able to get delivery and stuff. So yeah. How's your family?
I think San Diego was maybe just a little bit behind LA because when shit really hit the fan here and I was like, I'm a little freaked out. I don't, blah, blah, blah. My parents were like, I don't understand, just wash your hands. I was like, it's more than that. And then I think it kind of hit them a few days later. And so, yeah, now my dad just started working from home, which is good. Yeah, it's interesting. So my dad is a psychiatrist. And so it's apparently kind of hard or was kind of hard to be able to do any sort of like telecare because you need it to be like HIPAA compliant and all this stuff. But I guess, I don't know who's the they in this situation. I don't know if it's like a national, statewide thing, whatever, but they have made it easier to now see patients remotely. So he started working from home and I think they like eased up on some regulations knowing that it's kind of necessary right now.
Desperate times.
Yeah. So he's been seeing people remote. So I'm glad that that's happening because I was like, he was still seeing patients for a while and I was like, what if you didn't?
Yeah. Cut that shit out.
Yeah. But so I'm happy about that. And they've just been at home. My mom, I don't know if you saw this, but she did make an Instagram for our dog.
I did see that. Yeah, that's right. That's so big.
They're using their time well. And they're doing like delivery with groceries too and just kind of chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I think, just giving them things to do.
Yeah.
Because I think I was maybe talking about this already with someone. But anyway, just the fact that like I think our generation, like we're pretty good about doing stuff on our own. Like we know all the stuff to watch and it's all at our fingertips anyway. But I think sometimes older generations or whatever, like they're used to being like active and playing as a kid, you know what I mean? Right. And so like it is a little bit different, but yeah.
Yeah. I had to talk to my mom for like an hour to explain Instagram for her. And it was great.
What did you tell her?
Well, she was confused about like following. And then she was like, who's this Harper girl? And I was like, okay, so this is my friend Harper that I talk about. And that's her Instagram. So now you guys can like follow. She's like, well, I don't want to follow her. I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, so she was kind of confused. I think about
it's like, is it super personal? Or
it's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then she wasn't, I think she didn't understand like how to like and comment on stuff, but we've got her there. And then she was like,
oh, that's big.
Posting. She's like, I have 20 posts. I was like, Mom, you have to space it out. You have to like keep people coming back.
SEO. Yeah.
So we were working on some strategy for her.
Good.
But I think she's thriving. I think she's going to go viral by the end of this quarantine because
wow.
I see it for her.
That's big.
Yeah. It was so funny. She didn't even tell me. I just got a notification on my, when like a contact joins Instagram. So it was like,
oh yeah.
It was like your contact Wendy is on Instagram. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And I texted her and I was like, are you on Instagram? Because both my parents are super anti-social media. And she was like, yes. And I was like, and you're not even following me? She was like, I'm busy. Like call you later. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
She was like setting
what
up.
A flex.
I know. I was like, oh my God. Okay. It's changed her. But yeah, so I think parents,
sure.
They just need, like my parents, like my dad is on FaceTime, but my mom still is like, we're trying to get her there. So.
Oh, pretty good. Yeah.
It is kind of hard kind of getting the technology across, but
Yeah. I mean, I think like, I feel sometimes blessed that my parents aren't active on social media, but then But yeah, it is good at least to give them like more things to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been FaceTiming with my parents sometimes, and they'll like do the thing where, they're both on the same, they're just using the one phone, but then they'll like put it between themselves, so I can't see either.
There's like one
It's
eye
like,
of
what
each.
are you guys doing? Yeah, I know. Or like
funny.
not even,
Yeah.
or like it's like this part of their head,
Yeah.
you're just like, this is not forehead time. You got to
No.
use the whole
It's
face.
FaceTime.
Put your whole face in there. Exactly. They're doing their best, but yeah,
That's
gotta love
cute.
them. But yeah, I know it is interesting because, yeah, I kind of feel like with all this stuff, like I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe parents just, I'm like trying to tell my parents, like, maybe you guys should just stop working altogether. You guys should probably just retire.
Yeah.
Because like if you can't, like we're grown, you're okay. Just like don't risk it, because I don't know what's going on, and like they're all old and shit.
Are your parents still working, or are they like taking time
They
off?
are. Yeah. Oh no, they're not working now. No.
Yeah.
So they were working up until, not too long ago, and they do. They work together, so I guess it's good in the sense that they're used to spending 24 hours together. So they hopefully, this isn't that new to them, but they work, and my dad is a dentist, my mom's a dental hygienist, so they're kind of in people's mouths, and so I was kind of worried. I mean, obviously they are careful about it, and they've wear the mask, and but it's not the N95 mask, it's just the dental mask. And anyway, so yeah, just I guess I was like, yeah, maybe you guys should just shutter that off.
Yeah, just relax for
Dentistry is canceled.
Yeah, I know I had to cancel my dentist appointment this week actually, because I was like, I don't want to be
no need
having mouth time with somebody.
Right. Yeah. No mouth time. Your teeth are fine. You look great.
Thank you.
Just keep brushing, flossing, all the regular stuff. But yeah, I think I'm just like, I think it's a wrap on dentistry.
Yeah.
You guys got to close that shit down, burn it to the ground. Yeah, it's an interesting time. But yeah, even like, I saw an article about like, oh, don't wear contacts anymore because makes you touch your face more. I mean, I think all this stuff is more applied to people who are like out in the world a little bit more and have to be. But if like you're in your home, you're already fucked if you've got corona up in your home. You know what I mean? So I think you could just touch your eyes and your face all you want. But they were like saying like maybe that's a thing that makes you touch your face more. And obviously when you're putting it in, you're touching your eyeball. But I don't know. I think we should just call it a day as a plan.
I'm like touching my face this whole time. I have like I always like picking.
Oh, I can only do it.
It's all I do. Like I'm like,
yeah, I'm like always like touching. I'm always like nervously, I feel like touching my teeth.
Ooh, okay.
Which is like the worst thing I could possibly. It's like in my mouth.
You're just like eating your hand. You're like touching doorknobs.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I have something in my teeth, and then I'm like, I'm just like sucking on my fingers. It's not the best survival tactic, but
don't you feel like this has taught you like a lot about yourself already? I'm like, wow,
Sure.
I'm learning a lot about.
Oh yeah, that's a really good way to put it. Yeah, I think so. It is definitely like we're more aware of what we do behavior wise, so maybe that's why. But yeah, have you learned anything new?
I think like, I touch my face a lot, which I guess that is not new information. I guess like realizing how much I think I didn't know how much I needed like just other human because I've always been kind of introverted and I'm not a big like hugger, that's just kind of never been my personality. But like now having been touch starved for a few weeks and not having seen people, I'm like, oh, I really like need that and I need to prioritize that. And I was thinking like, when this is like a silly example, and I'm not trying to knock Love is Blind because it was the greatest show in the world, but I watched it like as soon as it came out, binged it, didn't leave the house for 2 days and like ignored all other things. And then the other day I was like, wow, that would be such a good show to watch now. And I can't believe I kind of wasted my free time on that when I could have been doing
freedom
anything else.
time.
Yeah. So I think that kind of just, it's been a little bit of an eye opener about like how I was sort of spending my time and just being a little bit lazy and procrastinating when it's like, that's not wise.
I mean, there was no way you were going to know
of course,
this was going to happen.
But I think it's given me a new appreciation for like,
sure,
just things being, when things go back to normal, I think I will kind of reevaluate how I spend some time. And I think it's also kind of like putting up a mirror to like having to get more just like really comfortable with yourself. Because right now, like you're not getting really a lot of validation from other people or any outside influences. So it's like you're really, this is very, I think, a lonely time for a lot of people, but I think it's an interesting way to kind of like get really comfortable with that and just kind of be compassionate and love yourself and try to just be kind. Like I'm also realizing I've been kind of like hard on myself. Like the other day I was so anxious and I was like, oh my God, like the world is on fire. And I was talking to some friends and I was like, I feel so crazy. And they were like, why? Like those are valid feelings to have, you know? And I was like, yeah, you know, when you feel that way, that's fine. You just need to kind of acknowledge it and show some kindness to yourself instead of feeling like you can't get worried or get afraid. So it's been interesting. And I'm kind of, curious to see like how things go, because I think we'll probably be like this for a couple more months. But
I think you're right. Yeah. But no, I love that. I think that's so true, that the fact that, well, valuing stuff, like that's what we're hoping, I guess, to resurrect some of these live industries too. It's like once we can, hopefully people will really be like, okay, I want to go out and like do a thing and make it, you know, our generation is already so like experience based that I think will probably only become more that way unless people you know, turn into the like, I still haven't left my house. I feel like there's gonna be an article, and it might be me, of some, you know, some person who was like, I haven't left my house since Corona, and it's like 2079. You know,
they're like, I just want to be extra careful. You never know.
Right. They're like, I got into this habit and I stuck with it. Right. But yeah, and then the fact that like, yeah, it is true. It really like changes your perspective of like what is real life. And especially when it comes to, because I think I used to also feel a certain way about like, well, I prefer live shows over like social media shows or whatever the equivalent of that is for comedy. And then now this is like, okay, now live shows aren't an option. So how do we know that this is all kind of part of the same world? Like instead of divorcing the two of being like, you have your social media and then you have your live self and then that's it. But like, yeah, kind of like being like, okay, now my only representation is like, you know, what I put out there is going to be on, you know, digital platforms or whatever. So what does that mean? And then also getting validation, like being alone and not needing to, you know, get that external validation as much, whether that's in, I don't know. Just general.
Because I feel like ever since last year, like, I don't know, I feel like we've all kind of, maybe mostly me, but definitely was like going on a little bit of a bender where I was like going out every night. Like if I didn't have a show, I was like trying to go on a date or like get drinks with friends. And I was like, I have to be out. And I was like, I think I was probably just like running away from my own problems a little bit. So cool. Nice to kind of just sit back because
now you're forced to like stay in and face it. Face our fears. I mean, and I think that's okay. Like I also was going out every weekend at least, and I see it more of like kind of like a like also just I felt like I was wasting money because I was like, man, I'm really spending a lot getting the Uber and then going and meeting and then you know paying for whatever experience and or like drinks are crazy, right? So the fact that that's off the table, like I feel like I'm like so rich. I'm like, oh my god, I'm spending like $100, you know. But obviously it's gonna manifest in other ways, like me buying an ironing board and online for no freaking reason. But yeah, I think I agree that like, you know, it's nice to slow down without FOMO too, because it doesn't make us feel like we're missing out on a weekend or whatever. Yeah,
I know. That FOMO is so real. It's like I try so hard not to be a victim to it, but it is easy to like get that a lot. So now it's kind of like, well, we all have to chill and take a break. Sort of like reset and reassess things. So it's kind of nice, I guess. Yeah, I love it. I feel like and this is a good transition into Stay Positive, which is the podcast theme. Oh my god, but you have to right now, because if not, like, I mean, we're just gonna go crazy. Right, then we're all doomed. So yeah, I mean, and like in, you know, it's kind of hard to ask this question in Corona without also addressing our situation. But you know, what are, like, I guess we've kind of talked about it already, but are there any things that you've noticed, like say before Corona, that you used to stay positive versus after, and are they the same? Are they different? Oh, I like that question. I definitely let me think. Well, I do like a lot of yoga, so that's nice because that's an easy at home thing, but I definitely feel more like grateful for it now because it is like it's good to kind of, I mean, it's obviously working out is good for you physically, but also there's like a mental component to it. So just like really keeping up with that. And I'm like, oh, I can actually use this opportunity to like try new poses that like I would maybe feel like self-conscious about trying in class, you know, around other people. I've been doing it without pants on. I'm just like, you know, there's just no fucks given anymore. Would you ever need pants? It's been really great. So silly. And then I also like pants stock is going way down. I saw the article. I was like, that's so funny. I'm actually not wearing any right now. No, I am, unfortunately. All right. But I've been fine. But I like also, I used to do this thing and I kind of fell out of it, but it was like every morning, I'm like even kind of like forgetting it now, but it's like you think about something that you like about yourself, like personality wise, you think about something that you like about the way you look, something that you're excited for in the day that's ahead, something that you liked about the day in the past, and then just like kind of the fifth thing I think is like oh my God, why can't I remember? It doesn't matter. The fifth thing is like another positive thought.
Fifth thing's extra.
Yeah, but just trying to
Bonus
really do
points.
that. And I feel like I've been really trying to do that, like before I go to bed, especially kind of think like, okay, you know, was today the greatest day of my life? Maybe not, because we're all isolated, but what kind of good did happen? What, you know, did I talk to someone that I haven't talked to in a while, or did I finish a painting? Like things like that. So really trying to focus on the not garbage fire that is the world right now, because yeah, like I just said, like you'll just go, I think, a little crazy if you don't.
Right.
So
cool. And then you just go over that in your mind kind of thing, or like,
I think you're maybe supposed to write it down, but just do it in my brain.
Right. Yeah. Don't waste paper. It'll be hard to get more paper.
Right.
But yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. I feel like that sort of thing, because I realize some things we kind of do naturally. Like I feel like I wasn't raised religious or anything, but I do kind of understand the idea of like, okay, that's sort of the things that maybe religion makes people do, or like whatever, like praying or like being grateful, or I don't know, what is it? I'm not sure. But like, you know, kind of those processes, the way that people are using it now under a different term, like self-care, or like, you know, whatever, mental health, right? Is just sort of the same thing. And it's like, okay, so there were some things that worked in religion, but not everything. But yeah, maybe like 1%. But yeah, I think that to me feels like, oh yeah, it's a kind of like the same version of like people who like say a prayer before bed or something, but it's not, you know, God related necessarily.
Yeah. Have you done the artist way?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Have we talked about this?
Oh, okay. So I started it at some point, but I never finished it. But I do have the book.
Hey, now's the time.
So yeah, you're right. Now it's totally the time. Okay.
Well, a lot of stuff will be closed because I did it over last summer. I think it was like end of last summer.
Yeah. I remember. I think we talked about it.
Yeah, it was cool, but I think like the big takeaway from it was like the morning pages, which, you know, kind of continue after the 12 weeks of the book. But it's kind of like the idea is that like first thing you do when you wake up is you write like 3 pages, and you're kind of just like dumping everything out of your brain and kind of like clearing space. And I think that helps a lot too, because I've noticed like, you know, it's like you wake up, and for me, and I've been thinking I should get like a real alarm clock, because it's like my phone is my alarm. So I open it and the first thing is like CNN updates, and I'm like, fuck, like horrifying. Right. So it's just nice to kind of like first thing when you wake up, write just and get that shit out of your brain and kind of start the day fresh. I think that helps a lot too with like,
that's cool.
Your headspace.
Yeah, that is I think that's like as far as I got.
Yeah. It's really the only thing.
That. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. A little cliff notes on that. But yeah, I also got I had a radio clock from childhood that I brought over, and I use that as my alarm, which I kind of like because, well, actually I tune it to like a channel that's like actual radio, and then that turns on at a certain time, right?
That's nice.
Then I put it across the room, but I still don't get up, but it's you know, so we're working on it. But I think it does help at least separate the phone from your waking up situation, and you know, hopefully that helps. But yeah, it's still hard to avoid, because even the radio station is like an update on corona.
You're like, we're all dying. You're like, okay, great. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks. But yeah, I think that's another good point. I totally forgot about the artist way.
Yeah.
I know people have like always talked about it, and but yeah, did you find anything like, what was sort of your goal going into that? Is it sort of just general inspiration, or like,
I think it's different, like depending kind of what you want to get out of it. For me, I was like, I just felt in a rut with stand-up. I was like, everything I write sucks. Like, I'm not funny right now. Like, I'm just doing the same material. And I was just feeling really stuck. And I was like, oh, why can't I get out of this? Like, it was really kind of alarming. But then doing that, like, it forces you to be creative in other areas. Like, one of the things was like, do a collage, which like, who does that? But it was so fun. You know what I mean? So it's like,
that's hilarious. That feels very old-fashioned.
So old-fashioned, but I kind of like how it came out. I was like, all right. Cool. So it just has you do little things like that. Like you take yourself on like artist dates. So one time I just like went to LACMA by myself and like walked around for a couple hours. So it kind of like gets your brain working creatively without necessarily like it feeling forced. And then it's supposed to like break down your blockages, you know, your creative blocks. And it also kind of makes you really look at like why you're holding yourself back, or it kind of makes you also look back through your life. Like it's like, what's the thing you wanted to be when you were a kid? And then you just were like, no, I can't. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you have to be pretty like honest with yourself, but it was cool. I mean, it's an old book, and there's a lot of like stuff in it that I think you need to take with a grain of salt, because it's a lot of like, let God and the universe guide you. And I know that works for some people. For me, it doesn't. And like I just said, I'm not a very religious person. So that aspect, I was like, okay, maybe not super identifying with it. But I think if you kind of take it for what it is and do the exercises and really like kind of answer the question, because there's like questions every week that you have to like, it'll be like, name like your top 3 friends that are supportive of you and then send them a letter. So I was like, I'm not going to send them a letter, but I would like text them and I'd be like, thanks for being so supportive. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Yeah. Snail mail.
I was like, I'm not going to, no, that's weird.
Right.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm
them
glad
a
that I
pigeon.
did it. Yeah. Send a smoke signal.
Like, when was this written? But yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I kind of have like heard people talk about it over the years, and of course I haven't done it, but I think like, yeah, it is true that I think just one thing I noticed about this quarantine situation is that like it really gives you the excuse to do the thing that you've been putting off, not only because you have time, but because just like everything has changed. Like people always talk about like the best way to change your habits is change your environment. So that means like maybe you move cities, or you like, you know, you every time something altering in your life happens, you also realize that might be a time to start something that you haven't done before. So this is kind of like that on a worldwide scale, but like, I don't know, I just feel like it gives you at least the excuse to be like, oh yeah, maybe I've been meaning to, like I was thinking even on a micro level, it was like I'd been meaning to move my stupid alarm clock from like my bedside table to like across the room, so I would like stand up to turn it off.
Yeah.
And I'd always been like, oh, well, if I do that, I probably should try to get another table to put over there or something and figure it out. And then I was like, no, you know what? I'm unplugging it and putting it over there.
Yeah.
And it took a pandemic for me to do it, but it was a clearly hard thing for me to do.
You know, sometimes the littlest things are like, you just don't like, this all happened to me. Like I'll buy something, or like, there'll be like a box that it came in, and that box is literally part of my apartment for freaking 6 months. It's like, take it outside.
Right.
What are you doing? Like, it's just these little things are so hard to do, and you're like, what?
Yeah, like breaking down a fucking cardboard box is the hardest thing ever.
But now it's like Corona can live on cardboard for a while, so I was like, get the hell out.
Yeah, exactly. Let it sit and then throw it in the trash.
Yeah, it's just
or wash your hands or whatever. Yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny, like how when you finally have the time to like do, like, okay, so I was talking about this with Matt when we were doing our little questions, and one of the ones that he asked me was like, what was something that you did as a kid that you just like stopped for some reason that you miss? And I was like, whoa, Matt, damn.
Wow, profound.
Okay. But I was like, oh, ballet. Like I used to do ballet all the time and I liked it. And then I just kind of stopped because I was like, my feet are going to be gross, which is a factor. But, you know, I was like, But then when he asked me that,
how long did you ballet?
I think I did it from like I was like little. Like I was like one of the toddlers that was like just running in circles, you know, why was I on stage? And then I think, when did I stop? I think I was maybe like 12 or 13. So it was like right up until when you were going to go on point. And I was like, no.
Sure, that's interesting. So that's introduced pretty, I guess it's super hard and scary. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's like, obviously I am not planning on being a ballerina, and that is not my intention, but I was kind of thinking like, oh, when this is all over, like, why don't I go take a ballet class? Like, that was the thing that I did.
I mean, they do like, I mean, I know it's different, but they do bar or whatever. Yeah. So there's like the like fitness specific version or whatever. But yeah, that's awesome.
Right?
That would be great. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty big chunk of your life, you know, formative years.
What did you do? Like, is there something you would want to go back to besides basketball, which we know you love?
Right now, well, obviously basketball. I mean, you know, part of me is like a little bit into, well, okay, let's see what. I mean, I did draw, you know, just for fun and stuff, and like I think I've been trying to get back into that a little bit.
Yeah, you're a great artist.
I feel like, oh God. I mean, I'm just terrible now. I just feel like it's like, you know, it's definitely a muscle, and it feels like, you know, it's like, oh God, I got to go through the like trying to do it. But as long as it's enjoyable, I mean, who cares, right? And then, but I don't know. I mean, I think like so much of what we've done in adult life is like specific, like get into your specialty and just drill down on it. And I've never been that kind of person, because I think when you're in school, you know, you're studying a lot of subjects, and then you're doing like things like basketball or whatever, or ballet, right?
You're just balling every day.
Right. Just like balling hard in the paint. And like, you know, when I think the transition of being like, all right, time to really hone in on what you're good at, and everybody does that. So you kind of feel like you should too. I've always felt a little bit like weird about that, I guess. So I like the idea of like doing things that are just not related to other things you're doing, and like being okay with that, because that's sort of something that I think I lost in general. But yeah, I mean, I have always wanted to take like a hip hop dance class, even though I can't dance.
But who cares? You know?
Literally can't dance. Yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah, I think when I was like my senior year of college, they do like a senior dance performance where like anyone who's a senior can do a hip hop dance.
Okay.
Like that's choreographed by somebody, and my friend was choreographing it, so I was like already of like, okay, I'm comfortable with her. But the practice was so eye-opening because they do it in front of a mirror, obviously, like dancing happens in front of a mirror. And I was just like, wow, that's what my body looks like. I just didn't really understand, like, whoa, oh God, like moving and just even copying this 1 minute dance, literally 60-second dance, or maybe it was 80 seconds. But even still, I just had such a hard time. So it was really like fascinating. I'm like, wow, that's an entire area of that I just know nothing about. And I love to watch it. I love watching those hip hop videos on YouTube and stuff. So fun.
Wait, can we take a hip hop class together? Because I literally, ballet, like I am a robot, like I cannot move. So I will take a class with you if we could go in the back, like cover ourselves.
If I can wear a bag over my head, like
I'm so down because I'm like the same way. And like going out, totally I'm always like, and I just like any excuse to not have to dance. I'm like, oh, I'm just so drunk, I gotta go.
Right. I mean, the alcohol helps, right? Does, like that's the other thing. So maybe we get a little drunk before. No, just kidding.
I'm so down.
I mean, I'm trying to find. I've been looking because a little bit, and I talked to somebody about it, but I couldn't remember what he said, so I don't remember the place, of course. But it was something about just like, I want to go to a hip hop dance workout type place. So the pressure isn't on, hey, we're all working towards this like performance. It's just on like, okay, here's we're gonna sweat a little bit, and then we're gonna put some great music on, and like maybe you can learn a little bit too. But like that's not the focus. Right. And I think they exist. I'd imagine. Sure. I feel
like in LA, it's like everything.
Sure, yeah. But then that's the other thing. In LA, it could be like, oh, and then by the way, everyone here is like
a model
and step up the streets coming to you soon. Like I don't want to know about that. So
we need like a Planet Fitness version of dance class where it's like no pressure.
Everyone's welcome. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
That's my kind of world. I love to live in an everyone's a winner world.
Let's do that. That would be really fun.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready once the ban is lifted and the streets are, I don't know,
I'm
open
so
again.
excited. I was like thinking like when I was in the shower, oh my God. I also, another self-care thing, I have been taking the showers of showers. I exfoliated my scalp today. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah.
What?
I know.
That's amazing.
Just really going in.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to do it.
But I was like, my mind was just wandering, and I was thinking like what it's going to be like when this is over. And I just like imagine like running into the street, everyone is celebrating and just like hugging and crying. I'm going to be just making out with strangers. Yeah. It's going to be good.
Yes, you got to do it. It'll be a big street party because I think we don't have that here. Like I think other countries do like cool street party. I mean, we do it, but like only on special occasions. Yeah. We should do it all the time.
All the time.
Stop the traffic. Yeah, I think that's great. Make out with strangers. You got to do it. That's fun. I will say, I'll probably shoot off some fireworks. I don't know. I could probably do that now and it wouldn't be a big deal, but
I think tension-wise, maybe don't.
Right. Yeah. I won't do it for the fact that it's illegal, but
and that,
maybe once everybody's happy and nobody's arresting anyone. But yeah, and also with self-care showers, I've been taking baths.
Oh, okay.
Which honestly, the bath is broken, so it just drains kind of while you're in it. But I try to put my foot over it, and I'm like, okay, like we got 5 minutes, kids, and then I'm just like,
you just have Dylan like putting buckets of water on you while you're in.
I mean I could turn on the faucet in theory, but like who has time for that shit? Because sometimes I'm trying to watch TV while I'm taking a bath. And so I'm like, I can't hear it. It's a whole thing.
Do you do like bath bomb and stuff? Like, do you have like a whole setup?
I don't have any, but I ordered some. So once that arrives in a month when it's irrelevant, I'm just kidding. It will still be in this. So once that arrives, I'll be way better equipped than I am now. But right now it's pretty bare bones. But
ooh, maybe it is what it is. That sounds nice. Just get a little candle.
Yes. If you have the capability, I recommend because you can like if it's sort of the thing where you're like, oh, I don't know, just like you can clean it now because you got time, and then. Baths are fun and a good a good break.
Good soak.
Because then you kind of take a second and you're like, can't really do anything right now because I can't like be on my phone in the bath,
Oh, that sounds nice.
So,
ooh, okay.
You read a book, I guess, but sometimes, you don't want to drop it in the bath.
Yeah.
All these things.
I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
I always see those people, like those things that you put over your bathtub where you can have like a little candle and like a book stand. Maybe I'll
Oh,
try
yeah,
to
get that.
do that.
I mean, you could probably use a cutting board or something.
Oh, okay. Project for the
You
night.
know, I mean, maybe not if it's not wide enough,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, I mean, or buy one, but
Yeah. I know I have so many like
But,
little
yeah.
projects and like add that to the list of
I recommend. Yeah, and then also I've been getting into crosswords, which it sounds like I'm an old person,
no,
but
that sounds fun.
you know, we're all doing the old person stuff right now. Yeah, I downloaded the. I mean, I think I have to end after my trial is up, but I downloaded like the New York Times crossword app.
Ooh, okay.
And I like literally I had like a achy neck because I was
Really?
looking down so much at it. Because I think it's like you really get involved trying to solve a puzzle.
Yeah.
That like you end up like 3 hours will pass.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck happened? You know, but I mean, it's because I'm slow. But I think, you know, if you're good at it, it probably is over much quicker.
Are you
But,
good at crosswords? Or like, are you getting better?
No, I mean, like, I think I'm getting better now that I've done a bunch, but there's definitely a certain language to it that like you kind of learn after you do a few. You're like, oh, that's a rule that they follow,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
But I mean, there's a ton of things that I'm like, this reference, I have no idea what the hell they're talking about. So I just have to like, they have like hints you can like check in and or reveal it. And then, okay, I got one word. So now I can work off of that or whatever. But, you know, obviously that's not what the true purists will do. But,
Right. Well, I won't tell
I'm
on
a beginner,
you.
okay? Yeah.
I know.
Cut me
I
some
love
slack.
like any puzzle. Like I love like jigsaw puzzles and like Sudoku and stuff. It's like so fun to have your brain.
You'll love, yeah. Oh, yeah. Then this is right up your alley.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess we're probably wrapping up here because I'm
Okay.
running out of memory on my recorder. No, I mean we got a little bit of time, but yeah, I guess any ending thoughts or things you'd like to plug in this fun time?
Well, I will first plug. I'm on social media. Who isn't? But well, my mom is now. But yeah, I'm on socials. Veronica K all day. Trying to be funny, and if you want to see me have just a mental breakdown every night, you can check me out.
It's very funny. I vouch for the content.
Thank you. And then also I have a meme account with Harper, who has also done your podcast. But
oh yes,
if you want to follow Princess Kwiatkowski, she's fun.
that's new.
Yeah,
I think since she came on. Well, she came on before Corona was a thing.
Oh wow,
so, you know,
she was PC.
Ages ago, but PC. But yeah, Princess Kwiatkowski, hilarious.
Yes.
I love to follow on Instagram and Twitter because it's both, right?
Yeah.
It's Twitter and then Twitter on Instagram.
Yeah.
And memes. Yeah.
I guess I can't really plug any shows, so just follow me on social media. And
right, that's the show.
Yeah, and then I guess like any other things, I just feel like it's important to realize that we're gonna come out of this. Like it's gonna be okay. And, you know, things will be back to normal, hopefully, soon.
Right, we'll be partying in the streets.
Oh, we're going to be partying in the streets. I can't wait. Oh, my God, I cannot. It's the only thing getting me through right now. I'm just like, oh, and I just want to, like, hug my friends.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I know. It is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knew? It's also not, I'm not a big hugger, and it's not the top of my, like, love languages.
It's the bottom for me.
I thought it would be the bottom. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the bottom for me, but I don't remember what the bottom is for me. Maybe gifts? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I know I'm words of affirmation, though. I took this all quite recently.
Oh, are you?
Actually.
Okay, interesting.
What are you?
I'm a quality time.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, no, I might be quality time. I think they're tied, or one keeps flipping depending on how I'm feeling that day.
Okay.
But yeah, quality time is also very important. Yeah, you're so right. So right. But yeah, I mean, maybe after this, we'll all be touched.
We're all literally physical touch. Like, please touch me. No, it's gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be great. Fair. And honestly, I am glad that you're still doing this podcast because I feel like that's another thing that is a great way to kind of take a break for a little bit, to just listen to a pod.
Do a pod, you know? Yeah, that's the hope. I've been listening to, sometimes I will listen to a pod that's not addressing Corona because it was like pre-taped or whatever. And I'm like, these people are insane. They don't know what's going to happen. And like, I can't. So, you know, I'm liking that more rolling out post-Corona world. Yeah. And it feels more like we're in this together.
Totally. It's nice. We're not, no, you're not alone, and we're all going to be okay.
This is true. You got Dirty Gert, though. That's at the end of the day.
I got the Dirty Gert. I'll post some.
I'm
trying to, it's another one of my quarantine projects. I'm trying to train her. So stay tuned.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Train her to do tricks?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Circus Ham.
Oh,
do you have an Instagram for her?
No, I just put it on mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
She's not that big of a diva yet.
Okay. I mean, you know, I'll check back in a week.
Okay, thank you.
But all right, well, thank you
Oh
so
my gosh,
much for
thanks for
doing this
having me.
podcast. I really appreciate it, and I know it's not ideal. I would want to have you
No, it's
sitting in
great.
the chair. We'll
Looking
come
like
back
this,
on once we're partying in the streets.
yes, I can't wait to be partying the streets. We're gonna hug. You and I are gonna
Right.
have a long hug when
We're
this is done.
gonna, yeah, we're very much touching. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
and then we're going to our dance class, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay, I'm excited. All right, we're
Cool.
doing it.
Yay. Well, I love you.
All
I'll
right,
talk to
thank
you
you.
later.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, hope you guys enjoyed that episode. That was Veronica Kwiatkowski. You can find her at Veronica K all day on Instagram and Twitter. She's like a bright light in a mostly terrifying world at the moment. So I really enjoyed talking with her, and I hope you guys liked listening. As always, thank you for listening. I am very excited that I get to roll out this podcast even during these weird times. That's what's great about podcasts. They can just be recorded in your own little vacuous space. I also am grateful for, any and all 5-star reviews you can give me, or just like listens and referrals, and send it to friends, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Now I got a Facebook page. I could really use the human validation. You know what I mean? Also, I'm really trying to be more community building. So if you guys are listening to this and you are self-quarantined and you feel like, you've discovered something fun, a fun fact or a fun little habit that you're forming that keeps you sane during these times, if you could do me a huge favor and either email it to me at staypositive@gmail.com and I'll shout you out in the next episodes, or if you could even more personally record your voice talking about what you've learned on your phone and like voice memos or whatever, and then just send me the MP3 or WAV file or whatever you save your sound files to, and send it to staypositive STAYPODSITIVE @gmail.com, then that would be cool, and I'll include it in an episode as well. So yeah, let's freaking build community, guys. Just because we're not all together doesn't mean we're not all together. So have a great day, don't get too crazy, and don't spontaneously burst into tears when you see an ugly blanket like I did the other day. Okay? Embarrassing. Bye.